Welcome back to Debugging Intelligence, where we break down the hype and hardware of AI. Last time we were deep in the theory, but today we're on the ground, looking at a fascinating, practical benchmark of the tools promising to be the future of software development, autonomous AI coding agents.
That's right, Alex. We're digging into a Substack article that really puts the marketing claims to the test. It asks a simple question. Can these so-called AI software engineers actually do the day-to-day job?
Right.
The author took 4 agents for a spin, the 2 you've definitely heard of, Devin and Google's Jules, and 2 you might not have, Genspark and AbacusAI.
And to really get it, you first have to understand the key difference in how these tools work,
Okay.
which the author lays out beautifully. It's the split between synchronous and asynchronous agents.
It's a perfect way to frame it. Think of synchronous agents as your AI pair programmer. They live inside your code editor, offering real-time suggestions and answering questions in a chat window. It's a fast, tight loop.
Yeah.
But you are always the one driving. Your attention is the bottleneck.
Exactly. But asynchronous is the paradigm shift everyone's excited about. This is where you act like a manager. You give the agent a high-level goal, refactor this service, or implement the feature in ticket number 742, and you just let it go.
Right.
The agent is meant to work independently in the background, planning, coding, testing, and eventually just opening a pull request for you to review.
The article uses a brilliant parenting analogy. A synchronous agent is like helping a young child with a chore where you're guiding every single step. Now pick up your shoes. Now put them in the closet. You can't leave.
But an asynchronous agent is like telling your teenager, clean your room before I get back. You delegate, you trust the task will be handled, and you free yourself up to do something else.
Yeah.
That's the holy grail, isn't it? To let developers focus on architecture and big picture problems, not just line-by-line coding.
It is, and to see if we've reached that holy grail, the author designed a fantastic 2-part test. The first part wasn't a clean, simple problem. It was a messy, realistic mono-repo. For anyone not in tech, imagine being handed a disorganized, decade-old filing cabinet with mislabeled folders and told to get it in order.
A perfect description. This repo had outdated code, failing tests, security holes, a proper digital mess.
Wow.
The agents were tasked with modernizing it, fixing all the broken parts, and then building a brand new feature on top of that shaky foundation.
And this is where the narrative completely flips.
Yeah?
The 2 titans, Devin, which launched with world-changing hype, and Jules, backed by all of Google's might, and its new Gemini 2.5 Pro model, they both fell flat.
It's pretty shocking to read. They couldn't even get past the initial cleanup tasks.
Really?
The article says they got hopelessly tangled in environment and setup problems and required so much constant help that they failed the core promise of an asynchronous agent. The teenagers were completely stumped.
Right, but then the 2 underdogs, Genspark and AbacusAI, came in and, to use the author's words, crushed the challenge.
Wow.
They navigated the mess, fixed the tests, and successfully built the new feature with only minor issues.
So the second test was more straightforward. Build a full-stack web application from scratch. This time, all 4 agents produced a working app. But again, the quality gap was enormous. The author hilariously described the app Jules built as looking like a form designed in InfoPath 2003, which is a brutal but very vivid critique.
A very deep cut. Meanwhile, Genspark and AbacusAI delivered applications that looked and felt modern and professionally designed.
Right.
So, in both a messy, realistic scenario and a clean build scenario, the lesser-known tools dramatically outperformed the giants.
And this is so important. It really challenges the narrative that the best AI is simply the one with the biggest language model.
Totally.
It suggests that the agent's architecture, its ability to plan, use tools, debug its own environment, and recover from errors is at least as critical as the raw intelligence of the LLM.
But the article doesn't end there. It's not just a simple victory lap for the underdogs.
Okay.
It provides a really important reality check.
Yeah?
Sober, even with the impressive performance of Genspark and AbacusAI, he concludes that the dream of true, set it and forget it autonomy is still just that, a dream.
This was my favorite part because it gets so nuanced. He still had to step in and fix things, and he mentioned a specific type of frustration with the asynchronous model that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
As an agent would work silently for hours, then suddenly pop up with a really complex, high-context question.
Oh, yeah.
And as the human, you have to drop everything, load this massive new problem into your brain, and figure out how to unstick the AI.
It's a fantastic point about cognitive load. Is it better to have a synchronous assistant that constantly asks you small, simple questions, keeping you in the loop?
Right.
Or an asynchronous one that leaves you alone for long stretches, but then demands deep, focused attention for a major roadblock?
We don't know the answer yet. So the state of play seems to be this. The best autonomous agents are already surprisingly capable, far more than just clever autocompletes.
Yeah.
But they are not yet independent colleagues. They are more like extremely talented but still very junior team members who get a lot done but still need supervision, especially when things get tough. The promise is real, but the debugging continues.
Which brings us to the question we want to leave you with. As we design these new human AI workflows, what does autonomy really mean to you? And what kind of collaborator do you actually want? Is it the one that's always by your side? Or the one that works in the background, freeing you up, but also demanding a different kind of oversight?
Something for us all to think about. That's all for this episode of Debugging Intelligence. Join us next time.